Hey guys, it's Sharon with Little Britain Company. Welcome to the channel. So today I wanted to do these one-page wonders with a twist. So these are my past one-page wonders, and I am just going to give you, I just did this one. This video was just out. I'm going to trim that up. Don't you hate it when that happens in your, let me get that little tiny, right there. Okay. So this one was one, I just left it really nice and simple. So there were lots of pictures you could put on here. And it just opens up, and there's a way you cut this, and then I added a section to it from some of the leftover paper. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, so then this one folds back up. No, like this. Okay. And then for this one, I used, this is actually a baby headband, and I really like it. You just twist it. You just twist it around. And you don't have to add the ribbon underneath, which sometimes makes it a little bit bumpy. All right, so this is one. And you can see it, the way I cut it, as a single page, just by scoring it 4x4. It was an 8x8, scored it 4x4 to get the 4x4 size. It gets a little bit twisty turny, and so there's that one. Same thing with this one. I don't think I added anything to this one. So this one is a Christmas one that I did. We've got pockets, and with this one, I did not add an extra piece. You can do that. With this one, basically this is the sheet of paper. And you just cut out a square. Once you do the 4x4, you cut out a certain square. I usually take that square and then I add it in. I'll just score it and add it in. You can see slightly smaller than the other ones. To get the extra piece, I literally just cut another piece. It's that easy. And if you use a 12x12 sheet of paper to get your 8x8, you'll have the extra 4x4. And you can cut it down. It doesn't have to be that full size. Anyway, so these are the ones. But again, once you start putting things, and this one I did add a ribbon to through the back. Just kind of the only way you can do these. Well, I guess you could do it a different way. Anyway, so that was those two. But I wasn't loving the way this was rounding. I mean, it's fine, but you can't put a whole lot in it because it's just going to start bursting. It's going to start bursting. So I came up with a different plan. Now, someone else may have come up with this. If you've seen someone else do this, I would not be at all shocked, but I had not seen it. So, and I say that only because sometimes I think I've thought of something brand new and someone's like, oh, this other person does it. I'm like, oh, got it. Anyway, so with this one, I actually added a spine. I added a spine here and a tiny spine here. And what that does is it really gives me the space, because now not only have I added bits and pieces to this one, but once you add pictures, there's room. There's room for it to grow. Although I just don't know that I would ever cover some of these up because I love them. So this is the one. This is one of the ones that I made. I don't think anyone's seen this one yet. So this was the one I made to kind of work out the kinks. So that one opens, and you've got, of course, up here you've got this pocket with our cute little guitar. And then it opens up and you've got a pocket down here. And I just put a little journaling page in. And let me get that way. Maybe if I just got that out of the way. There we go. And a tag. And then up here I left it empty for a picture. You open it up. And this, I really love doing this because of the way this paper is. This is one sheet and you can see sort of these really cool, like, continuations. Half of the horse here and half of the horse here and so on. It's fun. But this particular sheet of paper, I adore. Anyway, and then up here, I added more pockets, and I did a couple of additional tags. Just a little bit here and there. Okay, so let me fold that one back up again. And this one I chose not to do a closure because it closes really well on its own. So I didn't feel the need to do a closure with this one. But I figured, you know, if you could do something like this with this next one. So I did one more just to kind of make sure I was ready for the process. And this one was funny because I know the process now, but I miscut some paper 3 times because I wasn't paying attention. Three times. It's not even late at night. It's like not even noon. Okay, so this little Christmas one was from this Hobby Lobby pack, Vintage Christmas. I don't know if they still sell it. I think they probably still will have it, especially at I think this one they may have all year. I don't know. You would have to check. Okay, so in this one, I did not do I did not do, one moment please. Okay, so what I was going to say was I have not gone ahead yet and made little ephemera to go in here. So I just grabbed a couple of tickets. I will. Like, these tickets are beautiful, but they need to be inked and they need to, there's like more, and they need, you know, a little bit of extra. But just to show you, so that is a tuck pocket. I did also grab this little piece. So you can see it would have to be smaller than this, but a cute little picture in there would be perfect. All right, so then you open it up. This is an additional piece that I added, and you have a tuck spot here. That one fits fine. It's nice. And then you open that one up, and you've got a tuck spot there, and here, and you open that one up, and you have this beautiful paper so you can center someone's picture, and you have another tuck spot up there. So that was, I'll leave some tickets in here just so that there's something in here for right now. And, you know, maybe, yeah, I'll do this. I don't know why it matters. There we go. We can leave this guy in there too. Like that. And he can have a little ticket. It's all part of the decorative process. Okay, so with this one, here's what's nice about this one. There's a lot going on here. So this is heavy duty paper. I think it's 80. The paper is 80. 80 works fine. 110 works fine. Honestly, guys, 65 can work fine. Because once you add the additional mats and papers to this thing is just, it's substantial. I have said this before, and I'm sure I'll say it again. I always thought that when you did these without using the chipboard, which is what I had always used, let me mowing the lawn, which is what I had always used, that these just wouldn't hold up. And I absolutely think that's all been proven wrong to me. So also, now I will say with these, I could add, I haven't, but you could add a spine. I think I have, not a spine, you could add like a decorative piece here, even if it was just a bit of red here and red here, but they would be so skinny. So I just decided not to worry about that. You could also do a little inking in between there. That might actually look really cool too. All right, so this one folds up. There is a way to do it. Okay, there we go. Already that's got some bulk, which is why this one, this is 1/8 of an inch. And this one is 1/4 inch. And I haven't added anything, but you can, of course. So on the front, I just did this really cool raised, almost chipboard sticker. I just like the theme here had to do with, of course, Christmas and Christmas trees. So we have ornaments and Christmas trees and Santa and the pine cones. And then you have more of the pine cones through here. And then the bulbs to decorate the tree. And then on the back, you really just have kind of the door. So on the back, there are two ways to do your, I'm sure there's many ways to do your ribbon closures. This is how I do these because it kind of has to wrap around the piece. Normally you would have like a front and back, and it's easy enough to attach a piece to the front and the back. And you absolutely could do that with these. You could put a ribbon back here and a ribbon here and attach them here. That works. And I might do that with the next one, just see how much I like that. You can do this kind of a closure where you're really just wrapping a closure, and you can take it off as you like. With this one, I actually just attach the ribbon behind the whole piece. And then this one does give a little, this one's a twill ribbon. And the reason most people use seam binding is because it's so flat. It flattens to the point where you really don't see it on the other side. This one also is pretty darn flat. So this piece would probably be fine on the back without doing any raising. But I did something different with this one. And this is something you could do if you ever forget to put your ribbon on. Also, I just created this really cool little matted picture. This one actually is another, it's not as thick as this, but it is a thicker piece. So I double matted it, and then I attached the ribbon to the back of that so I could bring it around the front. So that's just a tip if you ever forget. And you're like, I really want a ribbon on this. I really want some kind of a closure. And that's one way to do it. But of course, it will come over the top. I don't mind that with my Christmas albums because I think it makes it look like a present. But so many ways to do that. Okay, so the big thing about this is going to be these. And how do you do that and still make this into a one-page wonder? And you don't have to add the extra section the way I do. You can just do it easy peasy, simple. Okay, so I am going to grab a pack of paper in a minute. I am going to, now normally I do this with an 8.5 by 11, but I'm going to get these out of the way. But I actually do want to, I know I'm going to add another section to fold over. So I think I'm going to use a 12 by 12 today. Oh, Big Brit's home. Okay, so Big Brit came home for lunch, and now I am back to start again. Okay, so what I want to show you is how I was working this out yesterday. So I am going to make this, so if you do like this as if it was just a regular one-page wonder, you cut a section off and then you just have those 3 sections, and I could do a 4 by 4, 2 by 2, whatever. But what I'm doing is I'm adding 2 spines. I'm going to add an 1/8 of an inch spine, and then I'm going to add a 1/4 inch spine. The 1/4 inch will be on the outside. So here's my 1/4 inch spine. And there's my 1/8 of an inch spine. And as I open this up, so what I'll tell you is this, and this are the original sheet. This is part of the original, but it got cut off. And then once it was cut off down here, I simply moved it up here. And then this one is a separate piece. And I wanted to use a 12 by 12 because I think I can get everything out of that one page and still have lots left over with this size. So I wanted to show you real quick sort of the reasoning behind it all. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do 8. I'm going to cut 8 1/8. That'll be my first cut. And I'm going to keep this. I need it for later. And then my second cut is 8 inches. Get that up there. There we go. Get that up there, right? So my second cut is at 8 inches. So that's my big sheet. That's most of what I'm doing. And then, let's see if this is going to be the right size. Then I am going to take this. Let's see if it's 4 inches that I need. I love this, but sometimes it's not as easy to get exact. Okay, so this is just a hair off of the 4 inches that I need. Take that off. This is going to be my cover. So for this one, I need it to be 4 by 4 3/4. Let me get that at my 3/4 mark. Come on. I try to get it just perfect. Oh, whatever. It's close enough. If it's not, I'll come back and shave it down. All right. And I actually have I don't want to do that again. I have all of this left over for something else. To make great bats. This is about 80 pounds. No, is it 80? This might be 65. You do not have to use heavy duty paper on these one-page wonders. I mean, I wouldn't use anything super thin, but the 65, 80, 110, they all work great. As a matter of fact, the 110 is a little bit heavy. It's a little bit thicker, and I find that it doesn't always work as well as I want it to. All right, so my next step here is just to take a look at this. Let's see where we are. Okay, so this side is 8 inches. This side is my 8 1/8. So let's pull you back out again a little bit. On my 8 1/8, I'm going to score at 4. I'm going to score again at 1/8. All right, so 4 1/8. I'm going to turn, and on my 8-inch side, I'm going to score just at 4. Put that aside for a minute. And then on this one, I don't score at all on my 4-inch side, but on my 4 3/4 inch side, I'm going to score at 1 inch and 3/4 of an inch. That's going to give me my bigger spine. Okay. I put my scoreboard away. I shouldn't need that again for a bit for this project. Okay. That aside for a minute. Now, with this one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut off a section. And the truth is, it could be any one of these 4. It really does not matter. But here's what does matter. This side where I have the double lines, I have to cut on the inside of that. I'm going to get rid of that spine on this side. And I really want to cut super duper close to the outer section. It's got stuck. There we go. And I only cut to that corner. On this one, I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to cut as close to, I find it hard to cut like that on that side. I need the bulk of the paper in here. All right, and so on this one, I'm cutting to the inside of this paper. I had to turn that around for a minute. I'm really just following the score. All right, when I get down here, I'm actually cutting through the double. And this one goes aside for just a minute. So on this one, I'm going to go ahead Now, I may have to do a little bit of trimming on this. You know, best laid plans and all that. For this first one, I just want to make sure that it's pretty even. Then I'm going to go back and do this second line. Maybe I should do the second line first. Doesn't matter. All right, there we go. And there. This is my 1/8 inch. And I could leave that. That could be my cover, and that could be my entire little album right there, where it opens and you have a lovely place just to have a few photos. But you know, I gotta be fancy. Gotta be fancy. Okay, so my next step is to take this piece. This piece needs to be 4 inches, which means I'm shaving off some of this. And I'm just gonna even this side up a little bit. I really don't have to, quite frankly. I mean, this side's gonna be hidden. I'm gonna grab my small scoreboard. I already have a score marker on that. Doesn't matter, I don't care. It's just not one that I'm gonna be, what did I do with my, there it is. This part's going to be hidden. So on this one, my 4 inches, I am going to score that at a 1/2 inch. So essentially, I'm using up, if I could do this with an 8.5 by 11, but I would have to use an extra sheet to get my larger, my cover sheet. But, you know, you can do whatever size you want. Okay. So, this is the way I do these. This is going to be my setup because this is not the cover. So, I'm going to attach, this one's going to go here. And then this one will end up going here. And already I can tell it's going to be a little bit too thick. So let me go ahead and trim this down. There's a lot of paper going on here. So I'm going to take off just a tooch. It's like a 16th. Let's see if that 16th is going to, yeah, 16th is going to work fine. And this is because I put mine on the inside. I didn't actually have to trim it. I could have just put this on the outside, this part. I could glue this to the outside. And I may still, but then you don't have to worry about it fitting on the inside to the dimensions. Does that make sense? I don't know if it does until I start gluing it. Let's go ahead and I'm going to, it's funny. I think we all have to have like a certain way that it sits. Okay. Come on, glue. Nope. Try it up. Alrighty. Let's get this glue open up. Now it's breathing. Now the way I do these, oh, it really is stuck. Glue is being stubborn. Okay. So this is going to go here. And it goes right there. Make sure that all right, so it is important that it's on there. There, perfect. The same on all sides. Perfect. Let me stop. I got to put my, stop where my glue. All right, so now this usually goes like this. There you go. It will depend. So this is going to be on top. Depending on, this can be on top. It just depends on which one of the squares you cut. But mine's going to be on the bottom. Okay. Now I'm going to do this guy. And I'm just going to make sure that he is even. Make sure that this one is even. This gives me my 1/4 inch spine. And I actually don't normally put it on the outside, but I think I might on this one. I've been putting them on the inside, but I think putting it on the outside might be helpful. Okay. So let me go ahead and do not want the glue, like I just did, to go all the way up to my hingy part. Trying to keep it away from that. And it has to go opposite. That actually works really well when I do it like that. This has to go opposite the other spine, the 1/8 of an inch one. Perfect. Okay, so now I have the basic structure of my, there we go, of my book. That's weird. And I'm going to start attaching. Now I'm going to, well, actually, now I'm going to show you what I'll be using. So I looked at some of the different paper, and I know that I had some other Christmas paper chosen, but since this month we can do what we want, well, I guess I can always can. I'm going to use this Echo Park Under the Seas. Honestly, it was either Christmas or it was like a real summery thing. And I was thinking Under the Seas sounded refreshing because it is blisteringly hot. So let me just show you what they have here. So we've got some cut aparts. That's really cute. I don't think I've used this. I think that when I went through it, it kind of came apart. Love the turtles. Don't be crabby. You're on the beach. Always be brave. These are really cute. I think this is what sold it. I love the yellow submarines. That's cute. I very much like that for most of this paper, it has a very generic kind of nice background, but you don't feel like, oh my gosh, you know, I have to use both sides, except for this one, because I love that one. So let's see, did I miss anything? So we have the octopus and some stars. Woo! Whales and scales. Like watery sharks. And then we're back to Under the Sea. I don't think I missed anything. So I don't think I've used anything from here. Let me just make sure that we're not missing anything. Nope. No, it looks like it really just came off as I was working on it. So this is the one I plan to use. So I'm going to show you how I set this guy up. Yeah, just like that. Okay, so here are my dimensions. I'm going to do 8 mats that are 3 and 7/8 by 3 and 7/8. In my printed section for those mats, and I'll need 8 of those, they're going to be 3 and 3/4 by 3 and 3/4. 2 of them And that's because you have, for this piece, but I do always remeasure it. Usually for this piece, those are going to be 3 7/8 by 3 3/8. And then the print, that's the matte. And then the printed pieces are 3 3/4 by 3 1/4. And then I do some pockets. And that's what the mat or the pocket, because I don't always mat my pockets for this because it gets thick. But let's get going. So the first thing I'm going to do, I showed you all some different ribbon or closures. For this one, I am going to go ahead and put my closure down before I do anything. Now, I'm not necessarily going to do anything with it yet. I'm just going to put it on. So this is, let me do it this way. This is just short of 4 by 4. I'm going to put and I'm going to put it kind of on the inside and try to make that right about there, pretty much centered. Now, for my back, for my other ribbon, sorry, I took a little pause, a little bit came in. All right, so this is the front. Now, this is the part where I think it's easy to make a mistake. This is not my back. That's my back. So I'm going to turn this over. And also it's this side. So I don't need my tape to run the whole section of this. I want my tape to kind of run across from this. And I'm just going to be ridiculous and I'm going to do this. I'm going to line it up because I'm going to be ridiculous. And maybe not. I'm not usually this meticulous. But in particular, I just want it, I want to show how that looks. So we've got both of our pieces of tape on. I will need to put the ribbon on before I mat it and do other things to it. Because once this is closed up, see? And I think that's kind of a little bit funky. Okay, I'm going to put this aside. This is just my process. Everybody's got a different process. So I decided that this would be a really pretty mat for these papers. And my mats need to be 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. I'm just going to go ahead and cut because I like to have the same colored mat throughout. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those down. Cut down my 8. I'm not going to do my small mats because I usually remeasure those just to be sure. So I need 3 7/8. Just about there. I mean, that could be really precise. The other one's more precise. This one is easier with 1/4 inches. Okay. But I'm not going to be. After being so picky about that last thing, I'm not going to be picky about this one. 3 7/8. And then 3 7/8. I will say with my other one, I can just set it to 3 7/8 and not have to worry about measure. But it's going to be, that is about what it's going to be. I like it. And 3 7/8. I've got this tiny piece left. That is 2. 3. 4. Now I also have this piece left. I'm just going to put it aside for right now. 3 7/8. I will say halting halfway through your downward is actually not a great thing to do, because it can cause it to get a little... There was a fly that got into my studio and it's driving me nuts. Okay, so that one, and this one. This should be mine. Now, I will say, I think I'm going to make some little notebooks out of what I have left of this undersea. I think I'm going to use my cinch and make a few little cute notebooks. I watch Carolina Craft a lot. Love her channel. And she just does the cutest little notebooks. And it's very inspiring. So, okay, so all of my mats are ready. They're all, this one is twisting a little bit. I may have to do a little bit with my burnishing here, but that's okay. Yes, and they're all going to be so stinking cute. That is so cute. All right, let me just double check. Yeah, we're fine. And then my inner one, this is the one that can sometimes be a little bit smaller because that's fine, because you cut it down. And then, as I said, I'm going to, this one I'm going to measure again. The 3 7/8 I'm sure is fine, but I'll measure again to make sure that this length is correct. I always do. It's always the same, but I still always do. All right, let me put this aside. I'm getting that out of the way for a minute. And now I just have to decide which papers. And I apologize. I should say this at the beginning, and I think I have started putting it into all my descriptions. Pretty much my videos are process videos. I like to kind of do the whole thing with you guys. I love both sides of this. And at 3 3/4, I'm not going to get 2 out of one sheet. Let's see. All right, I like that as a main one. I like the idea of putting... Oh, I know what I'm going to do. Yep. I know exactly what I'm going to do. Oh, that's going to be so cute. I'm sorry. You guys are like, what are you going to do? Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'll tell you. I'm going to pull it back a little bit so you can see. I am going to put sort of my fishes and whales here and here. I'm going to put kind of my deeper sea and upper sea here and here. And in the middle, I'm going to put my submarines. There'll be pockets along here too, but I think that I think that has some symmetry to it. So I'm liking this. I like it. So that's going to be my inner pockets. Then whatever I turn here, here, and here, you'll see with them. So what am I going to put with those? All right, if I have the main fishes, I'm going to put these aside. I'm going to put my cut aparts aside because I will probably use one of those. Let's see this one. Where is... I'm just checking those. I don't know about that one. I'll put that one right there for a minute. So, is this the same as... Oh, I don't know. Do I want to use this one or do I want to use the tropical fish? I'm going to use this one on the inside. I am going to use the tropical fish right there because I think it'll match up with those. So then I still have these two to go. I've already used everything. What have I got here? Or is this another? But I love that one. I may use that side. All right, so this was another part of this part. And we have this. So I'm wondering if the shark, so if that's there, then this is the sunny side on the outside. I kind of like that being the sunny side outside. And I'll have to figure out something different for the back. That one's always different. Okay, so we have these 3 pages of cut-aparts. I have this one. I just haven't decided what I might want to do with that one. With this one, I'm going to put those aside for right now. That. And I'm going to put these in here. Okay. Next, I'm going to bring these down. Yeah. What do I do with that yellow? I could do this. I've got another one to use. I can use a different one. Let's see. Did I really just put that yellow away? No, it's right there. Okay, the sharks. I'm going to put the yellow over there for a second because I need to get those 2 pieces. And I probably will have to cut into the other one. But, all right, for right now, I can go ahead and do these. And luckily, they're squares. So I can't mess up on my orientation. If they weren't squares, that could be an issue. All right, so the printed ones are 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. I did mess up in a whole section. I was working on this. It was late. And I ended up cutting my first 3 of one of my books 3 1/2. And it drove me because I didn't have extra paper. That's so cute. Okay. So these are all 3 1/4. Now I am making sure that I cut these because it's the Echo Park. I've got that little hole on top, but it also means I have a tiny bit of extra, like an extra inch at the top, which would mean that this is going to be a little bit longer than if I cut along the other. Does that make sense? If I cut along the other side, I feel like I'm going to have a little bit of extra that I can use for something. So each one of these, honestly, I might do that instead. Where I was going to put this one, I think I might do that one. Love this. Love the octopi. There we go. And let me make sure I got that one right. There we go. And little Bert must be talking to one of his friends. And this way. gracious. And isn't that cute? So for me, what I found doing, I've done actually quite a few of these one-page wonder little albums, and with the other ones I was doing kind of the same thing, trying to line everything up. It does make it go relatively quick. Now, I haven't decided what's going to go on the outside, and I haven't decided what's on the back, so I should have 2 of my mats. Okay, so right now, I have a bunch of pieces this size, and a bunch of pieces this size, and I think I know what I'm doing with those later. Okay, and that one. These are so stinking cute. Okay, now, before I start attaching anything, I'm going to decide on my front and back. So I'm going to grab, wait, what? I think, did I cut one too many? Let me, okay. So the whales are supposed to be here. Turtles go here. Yellow submarine goes there. I cut that. That's one thing I did wrong. That shouldn't be that size. After all that talk about don't do this. I just did it. Yeah. That's okay. I'm going to put this guy aside. I'll just trim him later. And I do need this piece, so let me do this. This is the other thing I sometimes do, because with so many moving parts, so to speak, it is super easy to kind of lose your place. So I've been doing this more often just to help me kind of remember what I'm doing here. All right, so then, yeah, I really like that right there instead of the other fish. That's going to be really cute because you're going to have, when it's open, that's what you're going to have. I think that's super cute. I may put like a fish up here, but make it into a tuck. All right, so that's those. Okay. So on, I've got that one. So for this one, that's where that goes, and that's where that one's going to go. So do that. That's why it was off. My sharks. I feel like I should be singing that baby shark song, but if I sing a baby shark song, I will not be able to monetize my video. They're so particular about those copyrights. I can't imagine why. Did I cut this right, guys? We're about to find out, aren't we? Oh, that's so nice and sunny. Okay, so this one is going to go there. And then we'll have a smaller one that goes on the outside of this. Let me go ahead. Let me double check my sizing on this piece. So the matting size is close to correct. But then This one is approximately 3.5 inches, so my sizing should be fine. It might be just a tooch off. Okay, so my mat is 3 7/8 by 3 3/8. I think I need a fresh one because that just doesn't work. So I'm going to need one more piece of paper. Just something to keep in mind. If I was using a 12 by 12, I would be able to, the paper would go further, that single sheet. If I was using a 12 by 12 with this, but I didn't have that color. Okay. Let me put this guy here. Here, I'll stick him like that for a second. And move that out of the way. Okay, so this is going to be this is my mats for the smaller one. 3 7/8 by 3 3/8. Okay. 3 7/8 by 3 3/8. Okay. I had to think. I was thinking. Sorry, I didn't mean for that to be so, such a weird pause there. I actually gave myself just a touch more, like another 1/16 of an inch. And we'll see if that works for me. Okay, so my yellow, my outside needs to be, I need another sheet of yellow. This guy is the right size this way. He's going to have to be 3. He's going to have to be 3 1/4 this way. Okay, so there's my printed sizes. I'm going to go, again, I'm just going to go a touch over. So he's perfect there. Is he perfect? Is that going to work? Yep. Okay. I'm going to put him here. And then put that aside. And then I need another sheet of, I'm going to use up that other yellow that's in here. Oops, very last sheet. Okay, and so this one needs to be three and a quarter. By 3 3/4. Yes. Okay, so now that's what we've got. And when it's closed, we've got a little sunshine peeking in. Now, I still have to decide front and back. So I'm going to take a quick look at these. I like Under the Sea. I actually just don't like it being on the red. So, I do like the fun in the sun. But I feel like I'm going to want to do something different with that one. All right, I'm definitely going to do something different with that one. So that's going to be my back, my front. So now what's going to be my back? I kind of like that. I think that, the simplicity of that on the very back. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So I'm going to do that for the back. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the front. Now, I know I'm being weird, but when I'm ready, it's all just going to come together so nice and quick. And that's the wrong way. All right, so this is a full size. So this is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. That is so cute. Okay, I'm going to put that one in there because that goes on the very back. Now I'm going to work on my front, because when I start putting it all together, I actually do my front and back for, I know I'm weird, but I there's an order going. I'm so weird. It makes sense to me. All right, I'm going to move this guy completely out of the way. I'm just going to put him up here, out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and just cut a couple of these. Oh, that actually cut well. And this one. Let's aside for a minute. Here is what let's see, I need to figure out if it's what size this is. So where's my 2.5? I'm thinking about getting this guy centered in the middle. That's actually really close. And of course it moves. This is going to be super. I might be out of frame for a minute because I've just got to get it right over my head so I can make sure that I've got it centered on all sides. Oh, come on. It's a little bit off. Ugh. I'm having a hard time with this thing. That is not right. All right, I'm not doing it that way. Mostly because I'm not liking the way. So, you know what I really like? I think I want to cut around this circle, and then I want to put it inside a sunny circle, and then I'm going to put it on a watery background. That's what I'm thinking. So, something like this cut out, but on this background, possibly even popped. And then, I don't know if I'm good enough to cut that out. I should have some circle dies around here. All right. I am going to look for my circle dies. And then do I want to use, oh, like that. Now that's going to give me a little bit of a additional, question is, am I okay with it having a little extra frill to it? And then putting the other frill. I kind of think that'll be cute. I didn't have to go too far. I'm going to go with it. Give Give you a little bit more room to see. There we go. All right, it's going to be super important for me to get this exact. All right, there we should be. I guess we'll find out. See how we did. Cute. Okay. I think my washi tape has seen better days. So I'm gonna get rid of the washi tape. Let me send this through because I store it like that. Right in front of me because I use it all the time. Now, hopefully, yeah. Okay, I really like that. Let me show you guys. What do you think? I think that turned out so cute. That turned out so cute. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's the little things that excite me. All right, now, one of these papers had like a watery background. This one. And I am going to lose the cut aparts. I don't love the cut aparts anyway, so I'm okay with that. So this is what I'm thinking. Maybe getting it as light as I can. And then that. And I may look for some jimmies to go along here. Oh my golly. All right. I really like this. Oh, Frab just day. Let's go back out a little bit. I'm going to go ahead with this one and just take off that top part because I know I want to use the lighter top piece. Okay, so this one is going to be the regular printed 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. I'm going to do it this way. 3 1/4. By 3 1/4. Okay, so I'm going to do that and that. And that in the middle. And then maybe a few jimmies coming up from it, almost like the sunshine streaking through. I really like this one. Okay, so it's all there, mostly. Now, what I will say is I still have some pockets to make, and those I usually wait till I've put the whole thing together, and then I go through and figure out what kind of a pocket I want to include. So at this point, I am just putting stuff together, especially when I get this excited about stuff. I tell you what. All right, let me get this stuff out. Sorry if it looks a little disjointed right here. I actually had to stop for a while, and now I am back to finish this cool thing. I am really excited. I think this is very, very cool. I have some really cool projects coming up. I would say. I wanted to tell you guys. But I also am going to make a little request. If for those of you who are subscribed to the channel, and if you're not subscribed, oh my golly, don't you wanna? But for those of you subscribed, if you would do me a big favor and just check to see if you're still subscribed. I've been hearing a little scuttlebutt from different YouTubers that every once in a while people are being basically kind of kicked off our subscriber lists. They don't unsubscribe. YouTube just kind of does it for them. No one seems to know why, what the reason is behind that or why it would happen, but it's happening. So, and I've noticed sort of a weird yo-yo effect going on with my numbers. So, isn't that cute? I love that as a cover. Okay, so I would just, if you guys would, I would really appreciate it. I would be very grateful. Very. I think that this seam binding would work really, really well. This is an old one. I sometimes find seam binding at places like thrift stores. I think I found this at a place called Enjoy. In a pack of stuff. Can get this off. I'll actually hold on to this old one. So it looks like this color was called Monaco. But it's old. The price on there had been, it looks like the price was attached to that. Okay. So my next order of business here. Actually, you know what? I'm jumping the gun. Let me put this aside. Thought that's going to be really pretty on here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just attach my, make sure y'all can see what I'm doing. I keep moving it closer. I'm going to go ahead and attach my pieces to their mats. So and then as I did, I'm just sliding it onto really gently. Let me do this. Let's do this one next. It does not matter which one I do, what order I go in, as long as I get her done. Okay. I'm really tickled with this one. Oh, come on, move over. Move over. There we go. All right, and then the turtles. And again, I've always say I do not go all the way to the edge, because once I start burnishing this, that glue is going to move further than you think it will. Ask me how I know. I think you guys could guess how I know that can happen. And I think I'm going to show you a little bonus cut. Maybe not. I'm going to hold off on that one. Talking. All right, I'm going to do the inside ones. Right now, I get so much of my paper from Echo Park. It's one of my favorite places to order from. They keep doing these really great warehouse sales. And so right now, their kits, which is basically just a paper pack with the stickers, but it's really nice. So those are on sale for, I think, $7.50, but if you buy 10 or more, you basically get them for $6.50, which is just an incredible deal. Really incredible deal. So I've been looking through some of those to see if I need more paper. You know, shockingly, I really don't need any paper. No, I do not. But, you know, paper crafters, we like paper. I don't know if you guys have watched any other content that I have on here, but I also sew. So I'm going to try to start getting in a little bit of sewing, as well as some of my paper crafting. Because I have been doing more paper crafting, but it's funny, whenever I do more of one or more of the other, I miss the one I'm not doing. Does that make sense? So I told my husband I really need 2 separate studios, one for paper crafting and one for sewing. We had a good laugh. We do have a big house, but we don't really have enough of a house to have all those things. So, but I do sew a lot. I made quilts and bags and other items. I need to solidify my craft fairs for this coming winter. Okay, that's those. And this should be my last 2. I think I might have picked up a little summer cold. Darn it. I really don't want a summer cold. So when last I saw you all, I think maybe it was morning. Since then, Little Brit and I, well, he was kind enough to go with me to see the new How to Train Your Dragon. That was one of his favorites when he was actually little. When he was Little Brit, now he's about to go into high school. Oh, sorry. Yeah, he starts high school this fall. Anyway, so we went to see How to Train the live version of How to Train Your Dragon. It's actually excellent, perfectly fun. The original was fun for adults as well as children, which is always nice. And the live version's really quite good. So, okay. So I've got those on. All right. Now, back you guys up a little bit so you can see more of what I'm doing. Okay. Now I've kept these together like this just because it's easier for me sometimes, especially as I'm getting things done. I'm going to go ahead and start taking these off. And put that one there. There's a lot of moving pieces here, and you just have to keep track. Actually, I'm going to put this back to back. So right now, I'm just taking them off and making sure that I kind of keep them together-ish. Because, all right, I need these two. I'll put that one right there. I'm about to do this. Yep. And I just need to make sure that I am all set with it. Okay, how much That's more than enough. Okay, so I think just 2 sections like that should be a gracious plenty. If you do not have seam binding or haven't bought any seam binding, you can certainly buy seam binding. And I honestly think it's a little expensive. But like I said, I do sometimes find it. So these are some of my most recent seam bindings that I found actually earlier. Let's see. Was it Monday or Friday? Little Britt and I went out. I think it was Friday. Little Britt and I went out and we got we went kind of thrift store hopping, which was super fun. He didn't think he would like it, and he did enjoy it. Anyway, I got these 3. This one is Summer Brown London Tan. I had to get that one. And then this Monaco. I'll keep this together. And when I use these up, I will, because these are older, I'll keep these and I'll use them in some of my junk journals. Which will be fun. Okay. So I've got my pieces. I have more. I just haven't put them out here. Right now, I'm just going to cut it like this. I'll cut it down differently later. And I got to remember how it's going to work. This ribbon goes that way, and that ribbon goes that way. Right? This is why I have to keep looking at it. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that. Yes. Because when this folds over, this one's going to go this way. That one's going to go that way. I don't want to forget. It's just so, honestly, I know it seems weird, but it's so easy sometimes to forget. And that's not going to show up anywhere. My chair is very squeaky. All right. Now that I have those down and I know the directionality of my ribbons, I am just going to make sure that I have fully burnished this. I've said this before, but if you're new to paper crafting or to the channel, one of the reasons to burnish is that it causes the paper and the adhesive to fuse. And that's, what we want. We want them to fuse. What is that from? Sure. Okay. So I'm going to take this one and I'm going to put it here. I was talking about that earlier too, about how something like this, I like this, but it's very thick and I don't know that you can see it, but you can feel the ridge there from that. I don't think you should be able to feel the ridge from this one. Let's see, do this side. And like that. Cute. Now remember too that these are going to get fully covered. So lots of possibilities here. And almost there. Make sure that one's on right. So cute. Now, I could have done this one in like a different blue, maybe in black. I like the off-white quite a bit when I'm doing lighter colors, and I very much like this. But they're, you can do whatever background color you like. Lovely. I may do a little strip here. I don't know. really hard to do. Okay, so let's see where we are so far. When that gets folded over, when we do this, this, and this, and this, look at that. We have a nice little closure. Okay, now, let me see. I'm going to go ahead and finish the outside. If I can remember the outside. Okay, this should be this one, right? No, this is this one. That's that one. This is this one. And because this is very directional, clearly, but I can see from this direction what direction that one needs to go in. So I'm going to do that one first. Doesn't really matter. This is coming together very nice and quickly now. I always say the same thing. I think to me, the construction itself is never what takes a huge amount of time. It's the decisions about how you want to decorate. That's what really takes the time. Get that one on there. And probably kind of like your home, or getting dressed in the morning, or any of those good things. So I am very interested, ladies and gentlemen, if you all are interested in seeing some of the sewing. I mean, I got to do the sewing. It looks like I was a little bit off on my calculations on this one, but it's okay. I have to do the sewing because there are certain things that I make for my craft fairs. My reusable paper towels are very popular when I go. I think I'm going to make more book pillows this year. As a librarian in my other life, I feel pretty strongly about books. All right. So I'm going to double check this really quick. 2, 3, 4, and our tie. Perfect. All right, now back to the inside. Let me remember how we did this. Let me cap my glue really quickly before it dries up while I'm putting this back where they belong. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Make sure. Okay. So I think I'm going to have a big bookmark, making different bookmarks in July, because I believe, since I do follow what the collab does, which is super fun. So I believe what they're doing in July is the unfinished projects. And I sure as heck have a lot of unfinished bookmarks I need to be working on, because I do different ones. So I think I'm going to be doing a bookmark one. Are y'all interested in the bookmarks? I am quite interested in what you're interested in. So I'll be sewing, but I won't be quilting. Not right now, I don't think. Maybe this fall. I do enjoy quilting, and I have shown some of my quilt tops once or twice on the channel. I should do that some more. I have a few questions for you guys. So another question is, my wonderful sister thinks that I should show my face more often. I don't know. Don't know. What do you guys think? Would you like it if I maybe started by showing my face? Oh my golly, this one's not working. This one is much skinnier. There we go. Luckily, you actually have a little bit longer with that glue. Thank goodness. It's upside down. Take on it. And I just burnished it. Okay. That was upside down. There was no way coming back from that one. That was upside down. Let's try that again. It's not going to be, well, it'll be fine because the paper is so thick. But I'm definitely going to glue it back up again. See what happens when I talk. I don't pay attention. All right, now I'm going to give it some extra love here, which may actually be why it wasn't working for me. There. Now it's going the right way. Okay, that one's going the right way. Now I'm double checking everything. Okay. Anyway, what do y'all think? I mean, I can always jump on camera for a minute at the beginning and say hi. But if you guys want me to do that, I would love to come in and say hi. If you think, yeah, sure, it'd be okay, but we're not going to stop watching if you don't. Something to that degree. I would love to know your thoughts on that, on whether you want to see any of the sewing. A lot of us, I think, when we craft, often we do not craft just one way. So I have other things that I do too. There we go. Cute. Okay, so right now this is what this looks like. And I like it very much. But I do think that it could do with maybe a pocket, maybe something on the spine. Okay, that is 1/4 inch. So if I'm going to add something to this spine, it would have to be 1/8 of an inch. Let me see if I can even do that. Because holy cow. Let me see if I have any extra little pieces over here. Oh, that could be cute. But I would really have to do... I don't know if I can cut 1/8 of an inch from this thing. That's... 1/8 of an inch is pretty tiny. It is pretty tiny. Let's see. That's just me eyeballing it because I just don't... That might be too big. Golly, no. That about fits. Holy schmoly. Okay. Let's see if I can do another one like that for the inside. So I did it right about there. Let's see which one needs which. How close to they're pretty close in size. That would need like a 1/16 of an inch. It does add something. I will. All right. Let's see if I can do this. All right. What I've got to do is get it right in between the fold. Kind of worked. I'll try it with this one. For some reason, a bunch of 80s music has been coming across my feed lately. So right now, Freeze Frame, do y'all remember that? That music, Freeze Frame, is going through my head. Oh my goodness. And I'm so tempted to hum along, but you really can't. Not on YouTube. All right. I have no idea if I can make something that skinny, but I can try. I can try. Really, it's just going to have to sit. I don't think you all can see this. I'm trying to make it sit right there. But I can't hold it if it's sitting there. So I don't know if I'll be able to do that. Okay, we can try that again. It kind of worked. I don't know why. I really don't. I don't know if this one does not seem to want to do the same thing. This one doesn't want to sit there. Because I can't really hold it. This one might be too thick. All right, I'm going to use the looks like it'll work. I'm going to try using that thicker one. This one's too thin. Okay. I do like to challenge myself. Oh my. Okay. Shuba duba. Okay. It is so hot out there. So hot. It's a little ridiculous. Well, that looks like it's working. This one should be a little easier even because it doesn't have to just knock off. Bend. So right there in between. It's not in between. Right there. In between. Try to put that back on. And I'm going to try to burnish that just a wee bit. That top part looks like it does not want to hold. I'm going to just dollop. Just do a dollop. Okay. It's so cute. All right, so now I do want to add in something here so that people can't, well, you know, do I? I think, you know, if someone put, this is 4x4, so if you had a 3x3 picture, you could put one here and here and here and here, and really when it opened up, the whole thing would be dedicated to pictures. That is something I was talking about doing on some of the other ones, and I ended up liking some of the changes. So let me see what I do have, and then think about whether or not it's a change I would be okay making. So that's actually kind of cute. Pocket wise, and I don't do a huge pocket on these. I do about a 1 inch. So it doesn't take over the paper too much. I don't have a lot of this. I think I actually like the, all right, let's see. So I immediately contradict what I said. I'm like, oh, I don't think I'm going to want this. Oh, I really like that. Oh, so the dark is very cute here. Can y'all see it? I kind of like the dark. And if I do it like that on the inside, you would not have to double mat it. How do I think about it up there? I don't love it up there. So I like that one there. Those scales won't work. I don't know. That one's not going to work. That one's not going to work. I like this one. I could do a pocket here and here. Do I really need that many pockets though? Because I want people to be able to put their pictures in. So what if I just skip those and just put a pocket here and here? Yeah. And then picture, picture, picture. Information on both sides. I'm going to leave that exactly how it is because it's just kind of perfect. And someone could write along the top of it, or they could just leave it as is. I just kind of like it. All right, I am only going to do pockets here. Now the question is, do I want to back the pocket up? Yeah, I'll back the pockets. Okay, if this is going to be 1 inch, then this has to be 1 1/8. It gives me a 1/16 of an inch, which is what that is. All right. So I'm going to take 2 pieces out of this one. I'm going to move this out of the way. Cute as that is. Oh, or I could also do this one, because you'd get a little bit of that and a little bit of that. Yeah, I like this one. Let me get a slightly bigger piece of this. Fold that up. And then you have a picture here and a picture there. So only a couple of pockets. I think that that works. For this, I think that it'll work better than if I try to do too much. Okay. That is the full printed. So that's 3 3/4. So I'm going to do 3 3/4 by 1 1/8. Hope that's right. I'm going to go ahead and start by just doing this at 3 3/4. And then we said 1 1/8. I'm going to give it a little bit. Wait. Right, I did it on the inside. Gives it kind of a nice little matty look. And then 1 1/8. Okay, and then this one's just going to be 3 3/4. No. There we go, 3 5/8. This one's going to be, that's my mistake. Before I cut the outer, but I do like it like that. I kind of like it the way it's sitting on top of, and you can see the mat behind it. So that was, okay, so 3 3/4. I need to go down. Okay, 3. So this one's going to be, I always got to think. That's 3 3/4. I'm going to bring it down to 5/8. Okay. Yep. And then I'm going to cut this at 1 inch. Yeah. Measure, measure, measure. I'm going to cut that one at 1 inch. Yeah. And then I'm going to cut this one at 1 inch. Okay, I'm going to bring this up. So not too fancy, not a whole lot of extra going on here, but a couple of, yes, I almost thought I did that wrong. Oh my golly, for just a minute. I was thinking, wait, was I supposed to? Yeah, it's fine. Put that down a little bit. This is cute. Now, you could always do something on that mat. Maybe a sun right there, so when it opens, one that you can tuck a picture under. That would be cute. Okay, so now I'm just going to do it really thin as I can do it. Bead of glue. I'm going to move this over. Come on, move just a touch. It's going to fit right there. And Okay, done. I am not going to include anything else. I mean, I looked at the cut aparts. I just don't think I'll take one more quick look at these cut aparts. I just don't think that there's anything in here that I feel would make an improvement. This one, I will say, okay, I say that and then I do this. This one's actually kind of cute if you cut it out. I think that if I used this, I would actually fussy cut around this and get rid of the peach, or maybe leave like a little bit of the peach in the background. And then yeah, I think I'm good. I think I'm good. So picture, pockets. I can always include a couple of tickets at the moment. They need something. I'll have to look to see if I can find something sea-like to put on those. So pockets and pictures, and then you just fold it up and in, and tie. This is actually super cute. I really like it. So I am pretty happy with this. I could trim the bow a little bit. I don't think I'm going to though. All right. No, that's too close. Oh, so sorry. There it is in all its glory. I do think, let me get these. These are, I'm going to do this. Just that little bit. Okay, what do you guys think? I love the way this one turned out. I think that's really cute. I do think I might try to, I don't know where my jimmies are. I looked for them before I came back in, but I didn't find them. But you can see, leave stuff on the table. You can see that this really added some nice dimension to it. And so once you add pictures in here, those pictures are just going to add that little bit of extra. And then this is going to just be the perfect size. To hold some pictures and maybe a few other little things. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you really did. I was excited to do this one. I have one more little album to show you that I'm going to make that actually one of my amazing viewers looked at what I was doing and said she had an idea for that one. So we're going to do that next time. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, guys, and I will see you next time. Cheers!